everyone. Today, we will discuss about historical and sociological foundations of the curriculum. So why do we need to study the historical and sociological foundations of the curriculum? Here it is. History is a great part of our life, which any people can never forget or escape from. Like any other things, the making of the curriculum in the Philippines undergone a process that constantly changing and made breakthrough as time passes. As an educator, it is very important to know and understand history, to know how education in the past societies are made, such as how are the education in the pre-colonial era, the Spanish era, the Japanese, and or the American era. Through history, we can compare and contrast the past curriculum and our curriculum at the present. The history of curriculum has a major role in the development of Philippine curriculum. History of the curriculum plays a very important role in the development of the nation. It takes long and tedious time to formulate a good curriculum which represent the need of the society and the experiences of the past. The history of the curriculum tell the curriculum planner how to develop and modify the curriculum, what to teach, and what should be the core material of the subject. What objectives do you want to achieve through the curriculum? History also tell them how the teachers should teach, what are the best practices they need to incorporate in the curriculum teaching, and what kind of teaching need to be avoided. First, I will present to you our lesson objectives. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to narrate the historical and sociological foundations of the curriculum, compare and contrast the difference between the traditional dimension versus the modern dimensions of the curriculum. What is a curriculum? Curriculum is a standard-based sequence of planned experiences where students practice and achieve proficiency in content and applied learning skills. Curriculum is the central guide for all educators to what is essential for teaching and learning so that every student has access to rigorous academic experiences. The structure, organization, and consideration in a curriculum are created in order to enhance the student learning and facilitate instruction. Curriculum must include the necessary goals, methods, materials, and assessments to effectively support instruction and learning.
The development of education in the Philippines from pre-colonial era to the present times. According to researches published on the historical foundation of the Philippines curriculum, it is said that the development of the Philippines depend on the five motives: religion, political, utilitarian, mass education, and excellence in education. Pre-Spanish era. Education is formal, oral, practical, and hands-on. Reverence and adoration to Antos and Bathalas. Alibata, alphabet. Spanish era. The curriculum focused on their version of 3 R's: reading, writing, and religion. Schools were managed by the convents and religious organizations, the churches in general. The main reading materials were all religion-based. Education during the Spanish era. The priors established parochial schools like linked with churches to teach catechism at the natives. Instructions was a dialect. Education was managed, supervised, and controlled by the priors. Education in the country was not uniform. The system of schooling was not hierarchical nor structured. Thus, there were no grade levels. Subject based on the Loyal Decree of 1863. Language. It belongs to Latin, Spanish, grammar and literature, elementary, Greek, French, and English. History, universal and Spanish. Mathematics, arithmetic, algebra, trigonometry, and geometry. Philosophy, rhetoric, logic, and ethics, geography, psychology. Philippine Revolution. Ilustrados spearheaded the propaganda movement. Curriculum reforms are made such as secularization of education, greater attention of natural science, the design of relevant curriculum, improvement of higher centers of learning, improvement of educational system, PE, law, music, and social science are added in the secondary school subjects. While in American era, curriculum was based on American traditions and hierarchy. English now became the medium of instruction. The primary curriculum prescribed by the American to the Filipinos were the body training and the mental training. Body training includes singing, drawing, and physical education. Elementary subjects have civics and geography as subjects while the intermediate curriculum has arithmetic, geography, science, plant life, psychology, and sanitarian. American occupation. The American used education as a vehicle for its program benevolent assimilation. American soldiers were the force teachers, restore damaged schools' houses, build new ones, and conduct classes. Filipinos warmly received the new teachers, Thomasites. Filipinos warmly received new teachers. American teachers infused their students the spirits of democracy and progress as well as fair play. Government established normal school for future teachers, formerly known as PNS or Philippine Normal School, now Philippine Normal University or PNU. Courses include methods of teaching, practice teaching, psychology, mathematics, language, science, history and government, social science, and physical education. Philippine and Commonwealth. All schools should develop moral character, personal discipline, civic consequence or conscience, and vocational efficiency. Promote effective participation of the citizens on the process of democratic society. Educational Act of 1940. Meet the increasing demand for public instruction, at the same time comply the same constitutional mandate on public education. Japanese time. 6 basic principles of Japanese education. First, realization of new order and promote friendly relations between Japan and Philippines for further extent. Second, foster a new Filipino base. Third, endeavor to elevate the morals of people, giving up over emphasis of materialism. Fifth, promotion of vocational course. 6. To inspire people with the spirit to love neighbor. So education after 1940 include moral and spiritual values inspired by abiding faith of God. To develop the enlightened, patriotic, useful, and upright citizen and democratic society. Binocular were used as the medium of instruction for grade 1 and 2. Conservation of natural resources. Perpetuation of the desirable values. Promote the science, arts, and letters. The objectives of the Filipino education was to establish integrated, nationalistic, and democracy-inspired educational system included the following. First is martial law period. During the martial law period, the Department of Education became the Department of Education and Culture in 1972 and Ministry of Education and Culture in 1978, and with the Education Act of 1982, the Ministry of Education, Culture, and Sports. Science and math aspects, as well as English language and literature, the case were taught in English while is were taught in Spain. A bilingual education scheme was established in 1974, requiring Filipino and English to be used in schools from 1986 to the present. The bilingual policy in education was filtered in 1987 Constitution of the Philippines, EDCOM. Congress passed Republic Act 7722 and Republic Act 7796 in 1994, creating the Commission of Higher Education or CHED and the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority or TESDA. The institute governing basic education was thus renamed in 2001 as the Department of Education or DepEd. 2010 and the K-12 programs. The start of the 21st century, second decade, saw a major improvement of the Philippine education system. In 2011, the Department of Education started to implement the new K-12 education system, which also included a new curriculum for all schools nationwide. The K-12 program is also called PACE Implementer, which started in the school year 2021 to 2011 to 2012.
So why study the historical foundations of the curriculum? It is for us to know different implications that it brings in our curriculum. This topic deals with past events which have led to present trends of education. By analyzing past periods of curriculum, it is possible to view and review the needed curriculum in terms of current and future education needs. First, the history of the curriculum guides the future plans. The history of the curriculum guides the future plans because curriculum is always based on the future demands of the country, and the lesson learned through history tell the curriculum developer not to repeat the mistake of the past and develop a curriculum which is based on the future needs of the society and international demands. History is the profile of past successes and failures. Second, history helps in the eliminations of useless traditions. The history of education tells the curriculum developer what not to include in the curriculum, what of lessons can bring new good to the curriculum, and what type of content material are good for the teaching and learning process. So history of the curriculum eliminate all those useless traditions from the modern curriculum and help the developer to incorporate what is needed for the curriculum.
Sociological foundation of the curriculum. Before we proceed, let's first know the meaning of sociology and the word education. The word sociology is derived from the combination of the Latin word socius, meaning companion, and the Greek word logos, meaning the study of. So the word literally means the study of companionship or social relations. Meanwhile, the word education comes from the Latin educare, meaning to lead out. Webster defines education as the process of educating or teaching. Educate is further defined as to help to develop the knowledge, skills, or character of. Now, what is sociology? Sociology is the study of human social relationships and institutions. Sociology's subject matter is diverse, ranging from crime to religion, from the family to the state, from the divisions of race and social class to the shared belief of a common culture, and from social stability to radical change in whole societies. Unifying the study of these diverse subjects of study is sociology's purpose of understanding how human actions and consciousness both shape and are shaped by surrounding cultural and social structures. Now, how society thus relates to education. Emily Durkheim was the first person who indicated the need for a sociological approach to education. He considered education to be essential social in character and in its function, and that as a result, the theory of education relates more clearly to sociology than any other science. He emphasizes that education is not a static phenomenon, but a dynamic and ever-changing process. Sociology studies the structure and function of social system, while education is one of the important functions of any social system. The prime concern of sociology is socialized individuals. Education is the means for achieving the goals of sociology. Education is the laboratory and workshop of sociology. What is sociological foundation? Sociological foundations are issues from society, which includes groups and institutions that contribute and affect the curriculum and structure of education. The institution in the society that affect the curriculum includes the family, religion, the government, the economy, and etc. An individual can learn very little by himself. Others play a very important role and contribute a lot to his learning process. The presence of other persons is important because a person learns from the knowledge gained by others. Therefore, the process of getting education is always a social process. It is concerned with the relationships, activities, and reactions of the teachers and students in the classroom. It emphasizes sociological problems in the realm of education. Sociology is concerned with such general concepts such as society itself, culture, community, class, environment, socialization, internalization, accommodation, assimilation, cultural lag, subculture, status, role, and so forth. Social stratification. The social stratification refers to a society categorization of its people into groups based on socioeconomic factors like wealth, income, race, education, ethnicity, gender, occupation, social status, or derived power. Now, how does social stratification affect education? Access to education and educational attainments is a function of social class, economic status, gender, disability, personal preferences, education quality, teachers, pedagogy, peer relations, and etc. It means only those with wealth, power, and prestige are able to acquire good educational attainment. That is why CHED offers free tuition in which a student is given a chance to attain higher education despite not having wealth and power. Sociological principles that contribute to the construction of curriculum are: the curriculum should be dynamic, flexible, and changing in nature. Second, the curriculum must be chosen on the basis of the problem and the needs of the society. Next is that the curriculum should be organized and its relationship with instructional methods should be such that the curriculum becomes effective medium to keep a control over society. Next is it should be developed a sense of dignity of labor among students. Also, the curriculum should be able to develop a problem-solving attitude among the students. And the curriculum should be provision of social programs for participation in social life.
And those are the historical and sociological foundations of curriculum. It is best that we must study and reflect on those foundations of curriculum in order to help us future educators in having a guide in curriculum construction in the future. And that is all for today. I hope you enjoy and learn something from our video lesson. See you virtually!